navigator, and alien mind.
Alien Mike, what's going on, man?
In the world?
I forgot to hit go live and I'm panicking, so I don't think anybody got our intro tonight. But we're all up and running. Everything's working.
Oh. Well, what's up? I was getting ready to text you. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? I couldn't hear anything, and you were.
Just this is what happens when you take a week off.
Yeah. We're here.
Hello, everybody that has joined us so far. Welcome.
More technical
our
difficulties,
chaos.
Eh?
Alien Mike, how was your holidays, man?
How's your day going?
My day's going great. Spent most of it at the VA doing some appointments.
Always something happening.
Always. So I think we're back on track. I think people are seeing us. So
it was actually pretty good. It was.
Yeah. Robert's with us tonight.
I think we may be lagging here a bit.
I think we are. So go through these real quick. And
I think we're lagging pretty bad.
You think so? Hey, for you guys out there, are we lagging at all? On my end, it looks good, but I can't tell.
Yeah, it's.
And I'm sorry, Robert, I don't know where your pants
that
are.
Like a minute ago. Yeah, it's lagging really bad. Raise your hand. I'm going to say. Yeah, it's lagging really bad on my end.
Huh.
Steve,
raise your hand. My wife just hollered from downstairs. We're not lagging.
Let me see how long it takes.
No, my wife just hollered that we're not lagging. There's just about a 7-second delay. Yep. Mama Shenanigan just said no lag. So, can you hear me at all, Mike?
Interesting. Lilith said no lag. That's weird. It's lagging on my. That's anyway.
Can you hear me at all, though?
Things are going okay here.
So, all right, Mike will be back with us in just a moment. Yes, the time travel police are on the case. So thank you, everybody. Hopefully, Mike will be back soon. But just to let you guys know what we're doing tonight. Tonight is our time travel episode. And we're going to be a little bit vague on this. We're going to go through some of the theories and some of reasons it should work and shouldn't work. But we're building this up because we're going to start focusing in on some actual time travel stuff in episodes in the future, such as the Philadelphia experiment or the Philadelphia experiment 2, things like that. Maybe even Project Looking Glass, whether you believe that's real or not. Let me see if I can see what's going on with Mike. Mike.
Hey, you're going to have to do it on your end. I can't get in.
You can't get in at all?
No, I tried to reset it and because I would hear you. And so I would say something and then like 10 seconds later, you would say something else. And it just kept doing that over and over. So every time I would try to talk, you were saying something else.
Right.
So I can't hear anything.
You want me to send you another link and see if that was just a bad link?
No, I went back into the link and now it just says connecting. It won't even let me get in.
I think you got some internet issues at your place.
Everything else is work. Let's see.
So bear with us, everybody. And Carl, it is the hat, I believe.
My internet's working perfect. Like, I'm having no issues with it. I'm searching the internet right now.
Interesting.
Try and send me another link real quick.
All right. Bear with us, everybody.
Let's see. Welcome to Midnight Signal podcast. And then I click the thing to go in.
They don't want us talking about time travel.
Here we go.
All right.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know what it was. I was, like I said on the phone call, I'm searching the internet, doing everything just fine. But every time you would say something, I try to answer. And as I was saying it, you would say something completely different that had nothing to do with what you asked.
So,
we're here.
We had a question here. Actually, he's one of the scientists we're going to talk about. So, anyway, back to what we were doing. Alien Mike and I have talked, and we realize that we're making a big mistake by going big.
Yes.
We're going to discuss time travel, or we're going to discuss the top 10 UFO abductions. We're going to start after this. We're going to start. You can join via fax, is what Carl's saying.
I just saw that. And Carl, I wanted to say thank you very much for the message you sent earlier. That's all I can picture in my head now.
But after this episode, we're going to focus on maybe one or two things, and that's it. So instead of UFOs in Arizona, we're going to do the UFO lights of 97.
Yep.
Because we keep digging ourselves in big rabbit holes.
I don't know. I just get too into it, and I just go down the rabbit hole, and there's too much out there.
This is one that I was really excited for, and I have been researching every day.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, after listening to some of these scientists that we're going to talk about tonight and some other scientists that I didn't have time to put up, I realized I'm not a tenth as smart as these guys.
Oh, no. Nope. I look like the village idiot compared to them.
Yep. I'm going to get back to showing stuff here on the screen.
There we go.
Welcome. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun to go over everything. I thought I knew more about it than I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we were talking earlier, I think we should just make it kind of vague as far as the science behind it, and talk about the fun things, the Jay asked, what if this podcast already happened? It probably did.
Check out my social media post. I've already seen it, and it's an excellent episode.
Yep.
After the glitch at the beginning, it turns out great.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think with that, we should just get on with the intro and start talking about this stuff.
Let's get after it.
All right. So, time travel has long existed at the crossroads of science, philosophy, and imagination. It's a concept that challenges how we understand cause and effect, free will, and the very nature of reality. From theoretical physics to ancient myths, from government experiments to personal accounts, the idea of moving through time raises one fundamental question. What if the past, present, and future are not as fixed as we believe? And what do you think of that, Mike?
Good intro. I like it. I've always been a fanatic of time travel. Like I said a minute ago, I thought I knew more than I did, but there's so much that goes into it that I had no clue about, and I hurt my brain on more than one occasion trying to read stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think my fascination kind of stems from what a lot of other people interested in it, books and movies, stuff like that.
Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. Yes, it is.
Dial up hooked up to a Commodore 64.
So, um, before I turn everything over to Mike.
Wait, you're turning it over to me.
I'm gonna turn the beginning over to you and just kind of go along with the flow. But I tried to make a presentation of all the scientists that worked on time travel, thought about time travel, thought time travel was possible.
Yep.
And I don't think I have enough memory in my computer to hold that big of a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, no.
So we're just going to bring up a few of them.
You did. I mean, well, like you said, time travel's been around for millennia. I mean, it's been around for, when did you say, back to the
Back before the pyramids were built, they've got it's not proof of time travel, but they've got things, inconsistencies, and some things they found that I don't want to get too much into that because that's going to be an episode all on its own, and that goes back to the Anunnaki.
Yep. I'm trying to find, I sent you something earlier. I was talking about it earlier, and maybe it's this. I'm trying to find it so I can bring it up again to talk about it.
Right.
Anyway,
keep going. I'm going to go through this real quick.
Oh,
so
yep, I got
Albert Einstein, he kind of became the accidental grandfather of time travel.
Yep.
With his theories of relativity, and he realized that this could actually send people into the future, but the bad part was they couldn't bring them back.
Right.
So you go into the future, you stay there, and this is no longer, time travel is no longer a theory. I mean, some of our satellites, their time is different than it is down here because of the speed they're traveling around the orbit of the Earth.
Yep. Well, same with the ISS. I mean, it's at what, 17.5K miles an hour, somewhere around there. So they experience.
It's not a lot. I think I read somewhere that they're ahead by like 10 to 12 seconds.
Yeah, it's
but
not a
they're
lot,
still 10 to 12 seconds into the future.
Yeah.
So while time travel is still a theory, it's more of a theory with what we're seeing just in our own inner space.
Yeah. It's, I mean, like we talked about earlier, which it'll be brought up again, is all the math is there. The science is there, but it's not just how it is with the satellites or ISS, but actual, like what people consider time travel. I don't think things like that are going to happen within our lifetime. We're not that ahead right now.
Researching this, I thought the same thing. So it has to, it's going to happen eventually.
Right.
Well, we'll get into that later. I'll finish this.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that, and that's what leaves that door of possibility open for me sooner.
Exactly. So the implication of what Einstein came up with is traveling into the future is physically possible and experimentally confirmed. Like Carl said, GPS satellites experience measurable time dilation.
Yep.
Einstein's equations do not forbid unusual space-time geometries that could, in principle, allow more exotic time behavior. So he wasn't even trying to study time travel and accidentally came up with a theory to make it possible.
Yep.
And this was a friend of his.
See, now I hadn't heard of this guy.
I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name. I'm sure my wife will yell it up to me in a minute. I'm sorry, everybody. You guys have to forgive me. I am coming down with something again.
You need to go into the future and get rid of it then.
I know. I'm going to go into the future like 2,500 years, find the cure for the cold, and come back and sell it.
There you go.
So what he came up with was general relativity allows mathematical solutions in which, see, she just hollered it up to me.
What did she say?
His last name.
And how did she pronounce it?
I'm going to screw it up, so I'm not even going to try because I'll hear yelling again. So his solutions in which backward time travel is possible, which is something Einstein said wasn't possible. Well, I mean, at least theoretically. So he emphasized that this challenges the idea of an objective universal flow of time. John Archibald Wheeler. He's the one that started coming up with the idea of wormholes as not just portals going, like the Stargate program, where you could go to distant galaxies in a matter of seconds. He also thought that wormholes could be used to travel in time, but it would be a fixed point. So you'd go, that wormhole would only be able to go Goodell.
Mit Ö.
There you go. Mrs. Shenanigator has spoken. So if wormholes exist and could be stabilized, they might allow shortcuts through space-time. Under certain conditions, this could lead time travel effects, particularly if the ends of the wormhole experience different time rates. But the problem that he came up with is you could only go back to one fixed point in time, and that's it.
Right.
And if that wormhole didn't move, as soon as you leave that time, the wormhole's gone too. Right?
Okay.
Then we got Kip Thorne. He actually demonstrated that mathematically the wormholes could remain open, which would create a traversable wormhole and could function as a time machine, allowing travel to the past relative to external observers. I tried to research a little bit more of that. I understand what he's talking about, but his big thing is, can it be controlled? Kurt the Girdle Man. I've got to stop reading my stuff and start showing these. So
Yeah,
some of these guys I didn't know about, and some I did, and
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody here will recognize this guy.
Yep. That's Neil deGrasse Tyson, right?
That's Neil deGrasse Tyson right there. And actually, I forgot to put him on here. And
Yep.
he is also he's come up with some ideas of time travel on his own, but Stephen Hawking said that time travel may be mathematically allowed, but physically prohibited by as yet unknown quantum effects.
Because we don't know what would happen.
Exactly.
I was talking to somebody yesterday pretty much about that very thing, that, they've said the same thing, with black holes, that, speed you into the future. Well, unfortunately, nobody knows. And how long until somebody says, screw it, I'm going in, and you get your answer.
I did not hear about his time travel party idea. I'm going to have to look that one up.
I remember seeing something about it, but I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking that one up. So from Stephen Hawking, we move to Leonard Susskind. I'm probably screwing that one up too.
So I got it up here. It says on the 28th of June 2009, he hosted a unique party for time travelers at the University of Cambridge, but no one showed up, leading him to conclude that time travel might not be possible.
I like it. Well, he'd have really been messed up if everybody showed up. Like some of the guys we're going to talk about later towards the end of the episode.
Yep. A Leonard Susskind.
So, time and space may be an emergent phenomenon rather than a fundamental one. This opens the possibility that under extreme conditions, nonlinear or unusual time behavior could occur. And what I got from that goes to alternate timelines, multiverse things. Is that what you get from that?
Yeah.
And we were going to try not to get too much into the multiverse because that's
a whole nother ball game right there.
wow, yeah.
I've tried. I mean, I've got it pulled up on a few tabs, because there's a relation between both of them, but you kind of end up going down that stupid rabbit hole again where first I'm looking at time travel and the relationship between that and multiverse, and all of a sudden I'm looking at cars driving on the moon or something stupid like that.
Yep, exactly. So this is one that I had never heard of, but Mike had.
Yep. Novikov.
This
that event close.
If I'm not mistaken, this kind of goes along with one of the theories we're going to talk about tonight, which is the timeline correction.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, one of the things somebody I'd listened to about this guy, he was talking and he said this would be, let's say you went back in time and you met yourself. And everything we've heard, the future you would be blinked out, the past you would be blinked out, or both of you would be blinked out because you can't share the same space time.
Exactly.
But what this guy was saying is based on Novikov. If you went and sat down and had coffee with yourself and didn't discuss anything and didn't even introduce you as you're not messing with the timeline. So you could actually sit there and have a nice cup of coffee with your younger self.
Yeah, because they wouldn't know who you were. Yeah. So it wouldn't matter.
But the minute the past you gives the future you the Powerball winning numbers, or the future you gives the past you the Powerball winning numbers, now that screws up the timeline.
Yep. And see, that's when you bring that up, that's the things that I find interesting about it, because I wish I could remember where I first saw it talked about, but I believe it was a movie, and they, using an example like that is you go back, you're sitting with yourself, nobody knows who the other person is, everything's fine, things go along the same way. But the second any information is given, it makes a completely separate new timeline.
Yeah.
And then when you go back to try to fix that, all it does is create multiple timelines. But the problem that I always ran into with that is it ends up being like led into another multiverse because it's creating all new things.
And the one thing we'll get into that here in a little bit. I'm going to get out of this as quick as I can.
Okay.
David Deutsch he's into quantum mechanics, and if I remember reading right, he is also either the father of quantum computing or he was very high up in designing quantum computing. He wasn't really big on the time travel aspect, but he did say backward time travel is compatible with quantum mechanics if reality consists of many branching universes. So no matter what, when you're talking about time travel, you can't say there is a single timeline only, because all of these guys, all of these top scientists are saying, no, there are multi-timelines. And that multi-timeline, just a quick example. You go back in time, and let's say you go back in time and you kill Jesus before he can start creating the Christian religion. That just changes that to a timeline where there's no Jesus. This timeline stays the same. There
Right.
was a Jesus, the Christian religion came about, and we are where we are.
Right.
But then
So
that second timeline takes off, and Jesus is not part of the equation anymore.
right. So that's like what I was saying just a minute ago, where
Yeah.
things happen and it just creates all new things that one exists in a place where the other doesn't.
All right. And then I know this is one of my father's favorite guys. He and I used to listen to him on Art Bell all the time. And my dad is way smarter than I am because I had a hard time keeping up with Dr. Michio Kaku.
I have tried,
Yeah. He,
and
he's fascinating to listen to.
I
But
I know I'm not the smartest, but I don't like when I'm made to feel stupid, and that
yeah,
just reinforces the fact that I am not that bright.
yeah.
He is brilliant. He's a lot of fun to listen to. I can watch his stuff or listen to
Oh,
it, but
he's
reading it,
engaging.
yeah, reading it is difficult for me.
Very, very. But the implications of what he came up with is time travel is a question of engineering limits, not theoretical impossibilities.
Mhm.
So he's basically saying the theories are there, the theories show us how it can be done. We just haven't got to the point where the engineers can build it.
Exactly.
And there's going to be somebody we talk to later tonight that may have already done it.
Ah, yes.
And I then there's we were asked about him earlier.
And I'm glad you actually brought that up because I was trying to find something else and I came across this guy, but I didn't read really anything on him. So I don't know anything.
Yeah, I want to do some more. I just found him this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who brought him up earlier, but if I'm wrong on this, please correct me.
I think it was
But
Linux.
I think it was Linux. But if I caught basically what he was talking about, information, not objects, might be able to be sent into the past. And when I read that, that kind of made sense. You know, because if it's just information being sent back, you're still changing the timeline. Thank you, Linux. You're still changing the timeline, but you're not changing it.
Right.
You know, you didn't go back and physically change anything. You just gave the information and how they got it. It's a. If, I know Nadine's here. You mentioned two things. I believe it was the Sudbrink calls, and Doodlestown. And Mike and I talked about it. We didn't want to bring it up tonight because we think both of those would be a great show. But this would be what he's talking about would be both of those. One of them was a phone call that somebody kept getting over and over. I don't want to get into it too much. And the other one was a computer. The Doodlestown was a computer that was being used by somebody in the past to pass on information. So we're going to do an entire episode on both of those. So bear with us, Nadine. We are gonna get to those, but there was just so much tonight. We didn't want to delve too far into it.
Yeah, I definitely had to cut back on a lot tonight.
Yeah. But these are just a few of the thousands of scientists that believe that time travel is real and possible. Or not real, but it's possible, probable, and eventual.
Yep. Not
Oh,
that
that's right.
it's
And it was
impossible.
the future as well. Thank you.
It's not impossible. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Is the way I look at with anything. It's not that things are impossible. It's just that nobody's done it yet.
Yep.
I was talking to a buddy about this same thing probably a year ago, and that's when he put it like that. It kind of made sense that, yeah, it's, when you talk about traveling the speed of light, for example, he goes, it's not impossible. We just haven't done it yet. So
Yep.
I think it'll eventually happen.
So I asked AI to go from reality to sci-fi and create time machines.
Interesting.
And here's what I got back. Forward time travel. This is the easy one. Relativity already gives you this. Go very fast, near light speed, or sit near a very strong gravitational field. Star Trek 4, or slingshot around the sun, and you'll experience time dilation. You come back and everyone else is older. Congrats, you're now the time traveler. Our astronauts up in the ISS, they are time travelers. Like I said, 14, 15, 20 seconds into the future, but they're there.
Yeah.
I think you had talked about one earlier on a YouTube reel that you saw. You want to mention that one about the 99.99?
Oh, I don't know who.
Yeah, I
don't
can't find
remember
his name because it's a
Yeah.
reel, so I don't know who he is.
I don't know who did the reel. The guy's name is Brian something, and I don't know if he's an astrophysicist or theoretical physicist, something like that. But he says if you go 99999 something times faster than what you're going right now, there is 8 nines behind whatever the point was. He says, and you're going to a certain place. If it takes you 50 years there, 50 years back, 100 years will pass for you, but 5 million years will pass for everything on Earth.
I found that very fascinating. I knew that I never knew the exact number until you sent me that reel.
Well, it's if anybody's seen the movie Interstellar, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
But when they go to the edge, the event horizon, the edge of the black hole, and they come back, and if it's been so long, I can't remember, but I believe they come back and only like 3 years had passed or something like that for them, but a whole lot of time has passed for everybody here on Earth because they experience time differently. So that's technically time travel, but as cool as that is, what always fascinates me is the actual, like, you're sitting right here now, you disappear, and all of a sudden you're in 2382. And then you come back to here.
Yeah. So this is, I keep thinking every time we do a new episode, the rabbit holes are going to get smaller.
They've gotten
that
worse.
definitely was not the case on this one.
No, it's gotten really bad. I searched, starting when we decided to do this episode, I started searching things. And then as I looked at the history of everything I've been doing, there's dozens of things that I've searched up. And it just, each web page or each chat GPT or each YouTube, everything just gets farther and farther along. And I'm just like, oh God, is it ever going to end? And
my algorithm right now is so screwed up just based on the past 2 weeks of investigating this.
Yep.
So we've talked about forward time, partial reality. We haven't made it much further than 10 or 12, 15 seconds.
Right.
Backward time travel. And this is where you need closed time-like curves, which are paths through space and time that loop back to an earlier point. Physics doesn't outright forbid them in every model, but reality seems to glare at them like they're a disappointed parent. So everything, and this, when I asked ChatGPT to do this, I asked him to do it based on the scientists that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So this is based on their science, and they all seem to agree that backwards time travel is the hardest.
See, and that's the one that I've. Oh yeah. The backward. That's just the one that I mean. I didn't do a lot of scientific research on it. That's the one that I have the hardest time with. For some reason, it just
There's a
a
lot
lot of
more
it.
rules to backwards time
Yeah,
travel, and that screws my mind up.
yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I mean, the theory of doing it, of being able to go back and mess with things or you know, do certain things, which I'm sure we'll talk about. It's
Yeah.
intriguing. It would be fun to do certain things, but the reality of it, that's where I get
So
stuck.
the next one that AI designed was the traversable wormhole, and they said that this one is pretty much the hardest because wormholes tend to collapse.
You mean a traversable one you can go forward and backwards through?
Yeah. So it's connected. It's connected from 2025 to 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and get some good hairband music.
I've got
You
a
can
lot.
traverse both back and forward, but one scientist said you really can't, because if you travel back to 1985 and go forward in their time 5 minutes, that wormhole's no longer in your time. It's connected to that time.
Yep.
So you're still stuck in the past.
Yeah.
So the only way that this would work is you would have to go back in time and come back. Never even get out of that wormhole.
Right.
And that just doesn't sound like a really good option. Unless, of course, you're connecting to the $1.7 billion lottery a week ago. You have your cell phone camera, you snap a picture, and
Send it
okay, you
back.
have to buy the ticket. You have to go back in time to buy the ticket.
Yeah. I mean, well, Carl, he just said it. Backwards time, it has way too many paradoxes with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That
we're only going to get into maybe
two of them, I think 2 or 3 of them that I had.
yeah.
And
So, yes, if you go back to 1536, there is a really good possibility you're going to be stuck there.
yep.
And this Lilith asks a really good question.
I don't know.
And
I
one of my thoughts on that was, as far as I know, nobody has actually observed an actual wormhole.
no,
But at the
I know.
same time, we don't know exactly what happened at the super collider when they slammed the two particles into each other. That was one of the
Right.
concerns, is it was either going to do a wormhole or a black hole.
I remember them when that went around, and
Yeah.
I mean, didn't it get like they stopped everything right after that, didn't they? Because they
No, they're
didn't.
still operating.
Or did they?
Yeah.
I thought they stopped for a while.
They when they slammed it in, they stopped to observe. Um, they stopped to observe what the outcome was. But then it was kind of not really hidden from us, but it just disappeared.
Hmm.
And it makes me wonder if did they actually create a wormhole?
Very well could have.
And all of a sudden they're like, we can't tell anybody about this.
I mean, if they did, in my opinion, I don't think they would tell anybody.
No, with the way things are going in this world right now. No, you don't want somebody using that for the wrong reasons.
Exactly. Linux, the question you just asked, that actually makes me laugh, because I read something yesterday, the day before, saw something that kind of ties into what you said, that when they say, the big asteroid that supposedly hit the wiped out the dinosaurs, all that stuff, that it was really a UFO from the future that came here and crash landed, That wiped out all the dinosaurs, and we came from that.
Oh, Mr. Blasphemous One is with us. Came
Who's in the
came from
future?
5 minutes into the future to say hi.
What's up, buddy?
So that's the wormhole. Then the Tipler cylinder, and this is from a scientist that I forgot to mention.
I
But
keep
his
going.
this concept was a sufficiently long, super dense cylinder rotating fast enough can twist space-time into CTCs, thereby creating the wormhole. But again, you're still stuck at that point. This one can actually be centered on you and not centered on a point in the past and the future. Yes, John Teeter, that's his name. Thank you. We're going to talk. I've got him up here too.
Yeah, I've got Frank John Tipler. Oh,
But
wait, you're talking, it's Tipler, not Teeter.
This is
right?
John Teeter, different guy.
Okay, because I've got Frank J. Tipler in 1974. Tipler cylinder is an infinitely long, extremely dense cylinder that rotates at near the speed of light. As it spins, it would drag space-time around with it. Really,
I got Titter and Tipler confused. You're right. This is the Tipler.
okay. Because I heard, because I think his middle name, Frank John, is I think his middle name.
Yeah.
And
so,
interesting.
But yeah, his would allow it to be centered on you,
right,
and not certain points in time. So you could control where you go. Mm-hmm. This is where you could go back in time, give yourself somehow without meeting yourself the Powerball numbers for the $1.7 billion lottery, and you end up being the winner. Mm-hmm. But we'll get into what happens with that in a second.
Yep. I mean, what I've read on it, I mean, that the math is right, but why it wouldn't work, I mean, you need an infinite length.
Yeah.
So it's, not feasible unless you're looking at something that's, I mean, if it's centered on you, it's sitting there spinning in a circle and you just happen to jump in the middle of it. Post it on the internet. Yes, that's
right.
Yeah.
John Teeter, we're actually going to talk about him at the end as well. I don't have a whole lot on him, but I do remember the story.
I'm glad you do, because I don't.
Yeah. So the next one, for those who are fans of the Big Bang Theory, I never understood Dr. Sheldon Cooper and string theory until Penny asked, "What is string theory?" And his answer was, "It's the answer to everything."
Yep.
The next one is the cosmic string time machine, using string theory to move forwards and backwards through time. So apparently Dr. Cooper has already created a time machine, because he did win the Nobel Prize. So I'm sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the ending of Big Bang Theory. But a lot of scientists are saying this is where the solution is in string theory. Once they can solve string theory, then there is no limit to what we can do at that point. Not to be confused with yarn theory. This is true. Yarn theory is a different thing. I think yarn theory is taught at Wichita State University. I'm not sure. Sorry, bad joke there. Wichita State University is probably a good one. All right. And then there is the sci-fi, which combines everything with time machines built by humans. So I just went brain dead. The very famous time travel book.
The Time Machine by H.G. Wells?
That's the one. That's where this is. Yep. This combines the string, the string theory. It combines a traversable wormhole and the device that was built to travel through time. And that's what most of us this is true. That is not one of my worst jokes. But
I think
that is what most of us know about time travel, is what we catch on the
Right.
Sci-Fi Channel.
exactly. The movies and books, they have some type of device or machine they get into and they go to wherever they want.
So,
Yay, Mike.
yeah,
Yay,
I
Mike. Does
know.
Mike got the answer right?
Yeah, Lilith, I cannot believe I've been thinking about that book all day today, and just as it's time for me to step up and show how smart I am, I go brain dead for a minute.
Well, what makes it even funnier, Steve, is you're going, okay, time machines. We're talking about, what's that time machine book? That famous The Time Machine book, the movie. It's like The Time Machine.
I
I'm gonna
between
blame it
work
on
and
you.
the holidays and me getting sick, it has been a rough week.
I'm gonna blame it on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're sick. You're under the weather.
So, so yeah, moving into the future is probably what we're going to discover first. Interesting.
Okay, pause for a minute.
Yep, I'm writing it down too.
Bid time.
Richard Matheson.
I know who Richard Matheson is. I just haven't heard of that book.
I wasn't going to post this. I wasn't going to post this because my wife just makes fun of me all the time for being the way I am. But I'll post it just because I love her.
What was it?
So-
There was a
So there's many theories about going back in time. And I'm sure I'm going to miss some here. There's the infinite time loop, the self-correcting timeline.
grandfather paradox.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. We're not going to focus a lot on it. We're just going to go over a few. And Mike, which one do you want to start with?
I'll start with the grandfather paradox.
Go ahead and take the grandfather paradox.
So, I mean, basically, if you go back in time and prevent your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, does it change things, or what happens? And essentially, if you prevent that from happening, then they don't have your father, which in turn doesn't have you, which in turn makes it so there wouldn't be anybody to go back in time in the first place, because you wouldn't exist, so you wouldn't be able to go back in time to
Lilith, one of my favorite movies. I am definitely checking this book out now.
Is it
Somewhere
okay?
in
So
Time with Christopher Reeve is my favorite movie.
I haven't heard of that. Is it BID time
Yeah,
return or Bud? Because it's written twice differently. I just want to make sure I get it right.
So on the grandfather theory, I've heard two concepts on that, and one is the one you just talked about,
right?
But then there's a continuation of that, which I'm sure you were going. You invent a time machine, you go back, you kill your grandfather. Your grandfather doesn't meet your grandmother, doesn't have your mom or dad, doesn't give birth to you,
right?
But you don't invent a time machine, which keeps your grandfather alive.
Yeah. So it kind of cancels it out. It won't work.
It's bid. Okay.
Bid. All right. I wrote it down right. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Is if your grandfather doesn't exist, then they can't have your parents, which can't have you, which prevents everything in the first place.
Yeah. The parallel universe theories, we're going to get into them a little bit, but that's going to be a whole other show.
Parallel, yeah, that's something that I would want to stick as one show.
Yeah.
It's just
But we are going to get into it a little bit. We've gotten into it slightly, but
a big I enjoyed was Travels Through Time by
Travels Through Time by Mike Ricksetter. All right, writing that one down
Heard
too.
that
Travels Through Time. Oh, and Mama Shenanigator is with us.
How's it
I
going there, Mama?
let her guess what I was doing this afternoon. Let's just say Jessica was amazing. Jessica from Expedition X did a panel at this past Phenomicon. She was amazing, and I wish they would have put some of the stuff she talked about into the episode.
Expedition X is X. There's one. Okay, that's the Josh Gates person, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But this one was more along the lines of the paranormal. So it was Jessica and her partner, and I can't remember his name right now, but they would go and investigate hauntings, UFOs. They did an episode out near Skinwalker Ranch, and they believe they actually had an encounter with a Skinwalker, and they caught it on camera. It actually made the episode. Yeah, I think Carl's just giving me a hard time.
Yeah, I think it's called The Looking Glass. There, Henrik. Connecticut Yankee Arthur's Court by Mark Twain is a time travel story. Wait, hold on. Is that real? Because I read that as a joke.
Hey, it's the younger kiddo.
Well,
I
it's
saw you
about
earlier. I see. I got my background up. Thank you.
I love Mark Twain.
I do too. I'm jealous of my mom for that. So, yeah. So the grandfather paradox. I mean, I can see where if you kill your grandfather, that could be the end of the line.
Right.
But then I also see how it can turn into another one of the theories, which is the infinite time loop.
Yeah. Okay, I'm actually going to look that up then, Lilith, because I read that right after Carl wrote what he wrote, and so I thought it was just another joke, but I'm Connecticut Yankee. I'm going to write that down real quick.
So this theory is the one that I found the most fascinating, and it's the self-correcting timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, when I first heard this, I thought, well, okay. I go back and I do something to change history.
Right.
This theory is you cannot change history. You can alter it slightly, but you cannot change it. One of the most common answers to the question, if you could go back in time, what would you do? And the most common answer is
Hitler.
Go back and kill Hitler. End the atrocities.
Yep.
And the self-correcting timeline wouldn't bring Hitler back and say, well, you can't kill Hitler. You could actually kill Hitler. But the problem is on the self-correcting timeline, during the time 1918 to 1922, during that time, the National Socialist Party was inevitable.
Right.
It was going to happen. The Treaty of Versailles had bankrupted Germany. They were punishing Germany for World War One. $4 billion mark reparations, which started hyperinflation and destroyed Germany's economy to a point where in 1918, a loaf of bread was 63 pfennigs, and 4 years later, it was 22 billion marks. And
just completely collapsed.
It collapsed the economy. The middle class and the upper class were destroyed. Some of the lower class were destroyed. They had to let go a lot of their soldiers, some of them career soldiers, because they were limited under that treaty to 100,000 person army. And yep, this is where I'm
Yep.
going.
Exactly. His name Rudolph, right? Wasn't that his name?
Several people. There was Rudolf Hess. There was Goebbels. They were all part of the party. Somebody was going to take Hitler's spot if Hitler was dead. The problem, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want people to think I admire Hitler. I do not. But Hitler, in his own way, was a man that could get the audience behind him. He
Yep.
was for the time, he was charismatic. He was saying what the people wanted to hear. And the people wanted to hear basically Germany for Germans. We are taking our country back, and it's Germany for Germans. While Hitler was great at talking to the people, Rudolf Hess and some of the other senior leadership of the party who hadn't been elected into the position of Fuhrer yet, they were the tacticians. They were the planners of what was coming. And if you'd have taken out Hitler, one of these guys would have stepped into place. So the self-correcting timeline is you can kill Hitler, but World War II and the atrocities have to happen, period. Yeah. Is it going to be better or worse? That's your chance to take.
Yep.
So that one was a very interesting one for me to research. And that can even go to the grandfather paradox. You go back in time, you kill your grandfather. Okay, you've wiped out your timeline. What happens to your grandmother?
Yep.
She can end up marrying Hitler.
Exactly. I mean, I thought it kind of similar to the movie The Butterfly Effect, you know. Things are going to happen one way or another, and you have to take the chance with it. So you can do something and completely screw it, or luck out.
So, you want to take the closed time loop?
I don't know if I have much on that one, honestly.
This one is similar to the grandfather paradox, but it's basically, let's say you did go back in time and you ended up in the bunker at the end of World War II and you killed Hitler and Eva Braun. On this theory, before you went and took those two out and made it look like a suicide, you'd already done that before. You are part of history. So this is just a closed loop that just keeps looping over and over and over. So it's basically you were part of history before you invented the time machine and went back in time.
Okay. Yeah, that one I didn't read much on, other than the closed time loop, or the causal loop is the other thing that I had on it.
Yeah. And to answer this question, yes, they did a lot of research into time travel, space travel. Yeah, they did a ton of research on it.
Yeah. Time travel, space travel, rockets. Yes, that's it.
All right. And one that I didn't come up with a lot, but a few people had mentioned it, was the phase shifted realities. And this one fascinated me. It goes back to the scientist we were talking about who said we can send information back, but nothing else. This one is you can go back in time, but when you go back in time, you're not phased to their reality. So while you can see them, they can't see you. So you're experiencing everything, but you cannot change anything.
I did not. They're trying to find the grail. I didn't read. I've heard of it, but I didn't read anything on it.
Yeah, so that one fascinated me, and I really hate to say this. It opens up a lot of possibilities just in the paranormal side. Are we out hunting ghosts, or are we out hunting people from the future that are just out of phase watching us. So that got me thinking.
Well, th- 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 that brings up, when I don't know if you watch, I know you did, Steve. You watched that movie Alien Code, where they had the Men in Black. Okay, so do you remember in that how I think it was towards the end they were talking to the older guy and he's like, "Do you see them out there?" And they can only see them in like the peripheral vision. You have to be at a certain way to see them.
And
They were actually
not only trying to find the Grail, they were actually also trying to find the spear that sliced Jesus.
really.
Yeah. They thought
Okay,
both of those were very powerful items. I as a very very amateur paranormal ghost hunter, I've heard that orbs are linked to ghosts. Yeah,
I've heard that.
But not all orbs. I think some orbs aren't really anything. But if you go back, if you didn't get to see our episode with our good friend Alec, go back and watch it. He has some orbs that are unexplainable on his pictures. So we've done the scientists, we've done some of the theories, we've done some of the reasons you can't do it, some of the reasons it would be possible. Let's have some fun and talk about people who claim to actually be time travelers.
Okay, well,
And
let's
please
start.
go to YouTube and check these guys out.
Yeah. So, Steve, I didn't save it. The first one I wanted to start with was the last one I sent you from. Was it Alex Shaw or something like that?
Let me pull it up real quick.
If you can type it into the chat, this is his YouTube channel. So the guy is an Airbnb, he's into real estate and stuff, and he had bought this house to do an Airbnb with. And I first saw his videos on it when it came out, however long ago that was. And he's got cameras all around the property. And one day the alarms on the cameras go off and he looks at it and there's a guy probably in his mid to late 20s who is walking across his yard to this shed that's in the back of the property. And he's walking around the shed and then he finally walks into the shed and he doesn't come out. And the guy can't figure out what's going on. So he sends the police over there. The police don't find anybody.
The link actually is broken in the chat in the message. Yeah.
Okay. I'll find it.
We'll put it on the Facebook link.
Okay. So after the police, don't find anybody in the shed, and he's scouring his camera feed, and there is no video of this younger guy walking out of the shed. So he thinks, okay, whatever. Well, it was either the next day or the day after that. He gets a notification that there's movement, and he looks at the cameras, and an older guy, probably about 30 years roughly or so, comes walking out of his shed. And at the time, nobody was, renting the Airbnb. There was no video of anybody going into the shed. So he tried to figure out what happened and, what was going on, never could. Then he decided to stop doing the Airbnb and rented out the house. But that was the only information that I could ever find on it.
Yeah, I'm going to find that and I'll get that posted in the Facebook group. That one, I saw that, and that is very interesting.
I mean, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe they were originally posted, before AI became a really big thing. And you know how, everybody lies and everybody fakes stuff for views and likes, but just the basic story and videos of what was happening, I thought were really intriguing.
So some of yes, what we're going to talk about these time travelers. I'll post a few links on the Facebook page, and you can check them out. The one that Mike sent me is from Down the Rabbit Hole, and it's a man that claims he's trapped in France in the year 2055. And I watched this, and I've been following this for a while, and everything that started ended up being before AI.
Yeah.
So this guy down the rabbit hole, this guy is either the best CGI, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects expert, or he may be legitimate.
Yeah, that was the very first one that I sent you, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's stuck in 2055 in France, and there is nobody on the streets.
Nothing.
There's a few more that we're going to talk about tonight that have come out since the advent of AI and AI taking over our life. Helping us out.
There's, well, you know, when you bring up the AI and time travel and stuff, I forgot to send it to you earlier, but there was another video of a guy I've seen before that when you watch his videos, I found him through somebody else. What somebody else was commenting on his video. And so I decided to delve deeper into it. And when you look at the stuff he does, it legitimately scares the shit out of you. But then you'll get to a certain video, and at the end he says, yeah, by the way, this is all bullshit. I've been faking all of this, and you guys have bought it the whole time. It was all done with AI and Premiere.
Yeah. But if this guy would not have, when he started, he would not have had access to AI. So if he's doing this, he is doing it all himself.
Yeah.
Well, just watching it, Hollywood needs to hire this guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's doing things like when he goes into I don't know what it is, like a Sam Goody or, you know, some type of video store, and he's pulling up the PlayStation 7 videos that shows different people that would have, you know, be in the Super Bowl or whatever. The only thing that I thought was rather funny was somebody had commented and said, okay, PlayStation 7, yet you're still sticking DVDs and Blu-rays in it, when in 2025 most things are now digitalized.
Yeah.
You know, but that aside, when you look at how
that's actually one of the comments on the Instagram page is consoles are still using Blu-ray 30 years from now.
Yeah, that was the comment that I was thinking of. Yeah.
But for entertainment value, he's fun to watch. Walking around France with the Mona Lisa in his hand.
Yeah, he does a dang good job.
Yes, he does.
So then let me see. There was somebody else that actually, it was the second to last one that I sent you. I should have it up on here, but I know you got more into it than I did. So
was that Xavier? He's in 2027.
No, I didn't. I was talking about Mike, Madman.
Oh, I'm saving him for last.
Okay, then
I'm saving him for last because I started doing some more research and it became very interesting.
Then go ahead with Xavier, and then I'll do Sergey.
All right, Xavier he's stuck in 2027, and again, everyone's gone. So in 2 years, in 1 year, everybody's gone. But he's wandering the streets of, I can't really tell, but it's a Spanish-speaking country.
Mm-hmm. Talking about 2055, how are things still working with nobody running the power plant? It's all solar now.
It's 2055. We still have Blu-ray, but everything's automated. It's AI's running it.
Exactly.
And honestly, that was one of the thoughts I had is when he started this, he didn't have AI. Here's where my warped brain went. in 2055, he does. So is he using the AI from 2055 to fool us?
Yep. It's that's what I love about this topic is it's just there's so many confusing, intriguing, and just downright scary things if you dive deep enough into it.
Yeah. So, but Xavier, again, a Spanish-speaking country, he claims he's stuck in 2027, no people around. So he'll be one we can definitely verify. If we're all gone next year, he was true.
Yeah, it's his fault.
But it's here's the funny part is he's so close to our timeline that there's not going to be a whole lot of changes. But he's taking challenges from people. One of the challenges was from a gym who said, the gym owner said, I am going to hide a book in the gym. I'm going to show you where I'm hiding it. I'm going to hide this book in the gym, and I want you to take it because he said he could interact with our timeline. Said, I want you to take it and move it somewhere else. And just so you know, we're a 24/7 gym. I got people here all the time. I have video surveillance everywhere. The next day they go to work and the book was moved. And they went and they watched the security footage. And at first they didn't catch it. They saw a door open, but that's all they saw. When they looked back and looked closer at it, it was kind of like what you'd expect a video of a full body apparition to look like. Yeah. Really out of phase. You can see a shape, but that's it. They saw a shape come through the front door.
Really?
And then a couple minutes later, that door opened and they walked out again. A lot of people have debunked this as strictly AI, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Again, we're not here to let you to tell you guys what to think. We want you guys to go out and watch this stuff and enjoy it. If you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you're going to have a really good time watching some of this corny stuff. So,
all right. So
we're going to get into John Teeter real quick.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
He is a military time traveler from 2036 who was posting on forums. He's been gone for a while now. I don't know if he's come back or not. But he was predicting wars, apocalyptic events, time paradoxes. Did he get them all right? No. But he got some right, and that was scary. And if you think about it, was he a lucky guesser? Or when he mentioned something, did that change the timeline from that point forward that we hadn't experienced yet? So it's not changing it's not changing history. But by him mentioning one thing, did he change the time going forward? So that's the reason that these things didn't happen. And I would like to actually do, maybe pick one other person, but do an episode on John Teeter. He's actually pretty interesting. And I think he was on the Art Bell show a couple of times.
Yeah. I believe, he was. That's where I heard him.
If I'm not mistaken, he came back to get an IBM 50.
Yep.
And his time machine was in the back of his pickup truck. So, I mean, it's a hilarious story. So if you believe it, believe it. That's right. His machine was not bringing him back, which is why he had to come get the new IBM. And he never showed back up. So we don't know if he finally made it to his own timeline or not.
Yeah, I heard him on Art Bell when I was listening. One of the last episodes I listened to was him, and it was a fun episode to listen to. It was interesting.
Yeah. He was definitely fun. But I think that takes us up to kind of the last one, which is Mike Madman Markham.
Nope.
Oh, we got one more. Go for it.
Yeah, Sergey.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Take it away.
So I'll do it brief because Sorry, my phone went off here. I just found it really interesting. So it was in Kyiv, Ukraine, when it was still, I believe, it was in the 50s.
Yep.
Which it was still part of the Soviet Union at that time.
Yeah.
If I'm
like 1953 or 54.
Yes, it was somewhere around there. And so he showed up in 2006, and he was standing in Kyiv, but he didn't know where he was at, because everything was different. Still dressed in his 50s clothing. He had the 50s camera hanging around his neck that he always carried with him wherever he went.
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you right there. The 50s clothing was actually a 1950s Soviet military uniform.
Yes, you're right. I'm glad you stopped me because I forgot that part. And the police stopped him, if I remember correctly. And
why wouldn't they?
Asking him, questions in regards to what he was doing, because he looked lost and confused. And they basically said, you can either go to jail unless you give us the information we want, or you can go to the nut house. And he chose the nut house. And while he was in there talking to the doctor, he told him the story of where he was from, gave him his ID, which was a pristine condition from the 30s, I believe, like 1932, it was somewhere right there. And anyway, he gave him the camera and everything that he said. They finally found somebody to develop the film on the camera. Everything he had said was 100% correct. The pictures backed it up.
Yep.
And what happened after that? I believe that they were contacting, there was a woman in the picture who I guess was his wife. And so they were trying to find out who that was. And they went back to him. I mean, he was monitored every day, 24/7. Like there is no way to get out of the room, out of the building, anywhere without finding out. So they went back to talk to him about something, and he was gone. And he showed back up in, I think it was 1956, and was talking to his then wife. And a little while later, he disappeared again, and he never came back. And I think when the police had interviewed the wife in 2006, she was in her 70s, and she said he came back for a little bit. He wouldn't talk about it for a couple of years. Finally, he did. And then right after, he disappeared again. And then she ended up getting a letter from him that said he's trying to figure out a way to get back. And that was kind of where the story died.
Yep. I forgot about him. So again, I'm going to find some good videos of all of these guys, and I'll post them on our Facebook group. The other thing before we get into Mike Madman, we have finally figured out the right way to play some of these videos on our show
without getting it
right, but we had missed a step. We now have everything that will keep us legal, so expect a lot more videos and pictures and things like that coming up here in the next few episodes. Mike, do you want to start out, Mike Madman?
Yeah, I can. Let me see what I got going here.
And to answer Carl's question, when I jump to the future, I'll ask him. Or maybe he already has, and we just don't know it yet. We haven't got to that point.
What was the question?
Will Xavier be that signal?
He may. We hope.
Maybe he's already done it. We just haven't got there yet. Okay,
so where do you want me to start? Well, I'll just start from the beginning with what I have. Figure from time travel. He's allegedly from Stanbury, Missouri. All of this happened late 80s, mid to early 90s. I think it was around 90. Was it 95?
It was 97 was
that was the end of it.
97 was when he did the Art Bell show. for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been 95 that he invented it for the first time.
Yeah. So he had claimed to build a homemade time machine using a Jacob's ladder. Now, I'm just going to give a brief run through. You correct me or add what you want to. So I know to initially, he built the Jacob's ladder and then he started throwing stuff through it, little things at first, and they would just disappear.
Yep. Sheet metal screws.
Yeah. And they could never figure out, where it was going. He ended up thinking that he could build it bigger. What would happen with bigger objects?
No, the very beginning, he threw sheet metal screws through it and they disappeared. And he thought, well, they're just gone. And then a few minutes later, they would pop back in.
Okay, so I'm missing quite a bit. So you might need to take this then because I missed quite a bit.
So,
because I did not
what he
get
did
that
was he wanted to build his own Jacob's ladder. Is that Jacob's ladder? That's not even right, is it?
Yeah, that's right. It's the Jacob's ladder. The thing that's shaped like this, that arcs in between.
The thing we've seen in every sci-fi Frankenstein movie.
Right.
So he wanted to build his own, and he was an amateur inventor. And he had a couple of years of engineering school under his belt. Right. He didn't graduate. He wanted to build a Jacob's ladder. That's all it started out to do. And in order to do that, you need a lot more volts than a household will put out.
Correct.
So he basically created his own Jacob's ladder and took the house current from 120 volts up to 20,000 volts.
Is that was with the transformer?
He couldn't get the Jacob's ladder to work. He couldn't get the spark to initially cross. As he was going to unplug it, he noticed a shift in space behind the Jacob's ladder. And it wasn't something that you would have caught. It was kind of like it wasn't quite right. And that's when he started throwing the sheet metal screws through, and they would disappear. They would be gone for a couple of minutes, and then they'd pop back in. But they would come in the same way that he threw them. So I don't know what he was thinking at that point, but he thought, well, if I build it bigger, I can do more than just sheet metal screws.
Right. Well, when did he get the transform? Was it the transformer?
Yeah, the transformers would have been, I guess the first Jacob's ladder would have been about 93, 94. 95 is when he realized that if he wanted to make this bigger, he needed to get transformers, which are very expensive and not really sold to the general public.
Nope.
But he knew of a place that had a bunch of transformers that were just sitting around doing nothing. So he got a couple of his buddies in pickup trucks, and they went and got these transformers from the power station substation.
Yep.
And I think at that point, he increased the power up to 200,000 volts. And his first attempt pretty much blacked out the city. He shut the power down for the whole city. Had to do some more inventing, some more work on it. Finally figured out how. Yes, he did. He tried to figure out what kind of things he could throw through this, because it was doing the same thing as last one was doing. And before he was doing the experiment, and they were putting things through, like I think they put the couch through, but this time it wasn't coming back. And while they were doing this, they got a knock on the door, and it was the county sheriff's. And apparently the town was pretty upset that he had blacked out the whole town. And the power company was upset that he was stealing all their transformers. So he gets to disappear, not time travel, for the next 5 years. Oh, he was only in jail for 60 days. And he had to pay a fine. Art Bell had heard about this story because it started making news. Because when he was arrested, the cops were like, "What are you doing?" And without missing a beat, he said, "I'm building a time machine." So it was one of those things that you mentioned earlier. You can go to jail or you can go to the funny farm. He chose jail.
No, he chose the. Oh wait, he chose jail. Yeah.
He did
Sorry, I was
choose
thinking
jail.
the other guy.
So he did his 60 days, and somehow one of the police reporters picked up on the story. They thought it was a cool story that it made their their top of the hour, bottom of the hour headline. This man from Missouri is building a time machine on his back porch. And yes, you can go look up the newspaper articles and the TV, the news reports about this. It's dead serious. Art Bell picked it up. And for Art Bell, you usually reached out to him to be on his show. He was so fascinated by this, he reached out to Mike. Mike wasn't looking for anything. So Art Bell reaches out to Mike and they start talking. And he says, in order for this time machine to work, it has to be even bigger. I need more volts. And this would have been, no, this must have been later. This would have been, I'm trying to think because when Art Bell had him on, it must have been the second time Art Bell had him on. They were talking about crowdfunding. And Art Bell said, you can always, do a GoFundMe. So it would have been the second interview, sometime in 2010, 2012. And the crowdfunding took off. And he financed a hell of a freaking time machine. I mean, this thing was capable of in excess of 500,000 volts. It stood 15 feet tall, and it was all legally purchased and in a rented warehouse. So he, excuse me, he builds this thing and he decides, you know what? I've thrown the couch through, I've thrown the coffee table through. It's time to do a human study. But he realized something before he did that is every time he was throwing metal or something hard like metal into it, it would explode. So he decided, I'm going to step through it, but I'm not going to have anything. It's just going to be me. Art Bell tried to reach out to him again for the next 2 years and couldn't get a hold of him. 2 years later, he calls the Art Bell show and says, I'm sorry, I traveled forward in time 2 years. So to me, our interview was like 3 or 4 days ago. For you, it was 2.5 years ago.
Right.
So Art Bell interviews him again. All 3 interviews are on YouTube. You can listen to them. He talks about time travel. He said, I'm not interested in a GoFundMe. I'm not interested in crowdfunding. But that didn't matter because the audience was, and they funded him again. The thing I messed up on is when he came to 2 years later, he'd only remembered about 90% of how to build a time machine.
Yeah.
By the time he went back on the Art Bell show, he regained his memory. He knew what he was doing, but he'd also gone to where his warehouse was and everything was gone. So he was going to have to start from scratch. So another GoFundMe hit. And he ended up building another time machine. And that interview with Art Bell was the last time he was heard from.
So
there is a theory. One of the things he did before he went back the second time was he created something like a Faraday cage that he could put metal and money and stuff like that in. And it wouldn't harm what was inside. So he finally goes through. That's the last time he's heard from. In 1937, there was a John Doe that was found on the beach inside this big metal container, and inside of it, they described a rectangle object. And the way they described it, it was a smartphone, but there was no power, so they didn't know what it was.
Hmm.
But the police report said it's unlike anything we've ever seen. Now,
So
one of the places I research is probably one of the best paranormal anything weird. It's the Y files.
yep.
And he said that it could have happened, but as far as he knew, Mike was still alive. He just hadn't been seen or heard from.
So
Some people said he died. There's no death record. There's no other records of him doing anything at that point.
what is your opinion? I know, for example, like when we did the alien abductions, we told all the stories that we found and then gave our opinion on what we thought really happened. What are your thoughts about this guy?
Well, okay. My thoughts. I according to the host of the Y files, he could not find the article that was mentioned on the Art Bell show about this strange, object being found with a body inside of it. Would I like to believe that? I would. Do I think he created a time machine? Based on scientists at the time saying if time travel is possible, he is onto something with what he's designing here. He is getting it right. And these aren't, the local scientists from the Radio Shack down the road. These were college professors, people in mechanical engineering. These were big people going, this is what it would look like. Do I think he made a time machine? I do. I think he went forward in time 2 years. That was it. I think the rest of it, no.
I'm going to have to take the other one on this. So go back to, the scientists say, yeah, could be on the right track, given what they knew back then. Okay, yeah, maybe he's on the right track, but I mean, think about this. Did they do Jacob's ladders when you were in high school? In science class?
If my mom's still listening, then she's already know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I really didn't attend high school that much.
Okay, we did, and we were absolutely stupid, and we stuck our hands in them constantly to see what would happen.
Okay.
And I'm still here. I mean, I think this is just a good story, kind of like when we searched the top 6 alien abductions. Okay, these are the top 6 most famous ones. Let's talk about them. Well, I think this person, there's some good truth to this, and this person's full of crap. I think this guy was, yes, he was on the Art Bell show. I mean, you can hear the interviews. I've listened to the interviews.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was just a con artist that was good at talking and got his money and ran off.
I can see where you're coming from, but again, he didn't reach out to Art Bell. Art Bell reached out to him.
Well, exactly. And I think he did that just because it made an interesting story.
The other thing is, yes, it was a Jacob's ladder, but the whole thing wasn't the electrical spark. It was with no spark. It was creating the anomaly on the other side. So there was no electricity going up Jacob's ladder. And that was, according to him, that was a complete mistake.
Right.
If it would have sparked, he would have never seen the anomaly. I think part of me says I believe because I want to.
And see, I can say, do I want to believe? Yeah, I want to. I mean, it's a fun story, but that's one that I think the he created something cool. I don't think he got anything from it other than conning a bunch of people out of money. And I mean, come on, it's Art Bell, and he was. I absolutely love the Art Bell show, but he's a
Yeah.
royal fucking dick. I mean, that's just honest. He puts people on there that just make a great story.
What?
It's the younger kiddo. I can't believe that. The stream. Sorry, I just read. Yeah, the stream is still going. We're talking about time travel. Actually, this ended about 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, the show's been over. I don't know we're
what's
actually
happening here.
downstairs and Mike's upstairs.
It's. I mean, I know that on his show, he does have people that call in and he genuinely thinks, okay, this is a cool story. I'm going to get behind it. Then he has other people that call in and he's just going, okay, you're absolutely stupid.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But at the same time, he's had Travis Walton on. So he's had legitimate people on.
Right.
Travis Walton, I know you and I both believe. Whitley Strieber, not so much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
right.
I mean, he's had
But
some very believable people.
Exactly, and that's why I go back and say that. Yeah, you're right. Most people, they reach out to get onto his show.
Yeah.
But I also know I've listened to some of the people that have been on it, and you're like, okay, come on, this guy is just absolutely stupid, and he just wants to be on the show, so he's saying whatever just to get his 15 minutes of fame.
I can see that.
So,
but you and I both know that Art rarely challenged his guest. Yeah, that is true. Sorry, I guess I couldn't post that up there.
George Norrie. I'm sorry, we've talked about him. I cannot stand George Norrie.
No. No, I'm not a George Norrie fan.
I mean, Art has had people on there that I've believed, and then he's had people on there that I think are absolutely full of shit. And on Mike, I think he created something that he didn't understand. I think it gained popularity with people. I think it makes for an absolutely fucking phenomenal story. But I think Art Bell went, okay, well, I hear this story. Everybody's talking about it over there. So let me figure out what's going on. I'm going to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
And going, okay, well, this is interesting. And so when Art says, okay, well, let's crowdfund and make money and see what happens. It's not his money he's putting up. So he's not losing out on anything, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, he has, again, people that make sense and people that don't. And this is one that I think the guy just took the money and ran. It sounds too shady to me. If
it were just, and again, I think part of the reason I believe is because of the scientists not going on the Art Bell show, but the scientists that were looking at all of the designs when it made the national news, and they're saying, yeah, this is how it would be done. He had no control over those guys.
Right.
And they're just popping up. I'll go this way. I'm 75%, I believe.
Okay. And I see what you're saying, I mean, the 95, that was what, 30 years ago? Yeah. I see that, okay, given what they know now, seeing how he's designing it, if this were to happen, this is how it would be designed. But that doesn't say, okay, well, he did it. That's saying you're on the right track.
Yeah, but we don't know what happened after that first and second design. We don't know what the third design was that made him disappear.
No, but
yes, Lilith.
That's exactly why I did.
On Ghost to Ghost.
Yep. That was the whole reason I subscribed to it. Yeah, so this is when, I mean, you said it perfectly. Do I want to believe? Yeah, I think it would be cool if it was real, but it's one that, I mean, like you just said, we don't know what happened with anything because nobody's heard from him. Well, he got the money. And I know if I con people out of, 500,000.
Let's go to the money thing. Yeah, he got the money, but there is nothing out there today that shows he is around
No, people disappear all the time.
and move that much money all of a sudden.
This is, back in the early 90s or late 90s, it's easy to move that around without people noticing.
No, the crowdfunding would have been about
Or no, that was
2014.
Oh yeah, 2014. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. Yeah, damn it. It's still possible. I mean,
It's no matter what, it's a fun story.
yeah. And that's where, I mean, we're going to have different opinions on this one,
Yep.
but I will agree. It was a fascinating story. That's why I sent it over, because I thought it was really cool.
Yep.
I mean, I heard about this guy probably 4 years ago. It was when I first ran into it, the stories of him.
Yeah. Definitely. I wouldn't mind looking more into it. And I'd be willing to bet if I look at a few more, it's going to be debunked somewhere.
Right. And me just using the what information I have now, that's where I say, it doesn't happen. It didn't happen. I mean, I get what you're saying when it comes to the money, but how long have people been putting money in Cayman Islands or Bahamas or other places and nobody knows about it? Because if you're moving anything under $10,000 is not looked at.
Yeah.
So you do it all in increments of 9,999.
The problem is the very first one, he has to move it all at once.
Goes into his first bank.
Yeah, but it hits that crowd fund first, and you can't take it out until you've reached your goal. After that, you can take it out 5,000 or 10,000. So we'd have to know what his goal was.
Right, and that's.
Yeah, it was a very sad day when Art.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's an interesting story. I mean, just like to me, the Sergey one I thought was interesting as well.
I mean, researching this, I've seen a few photos of the Mike Tyson fight directly after he got out of prison back in the 90s. And it looks like a guy is filming the Mike Tyson fight with a smartphone. And these weren't out yet.
Yeah.
But that smartphone could have also been one of the first age digital cameras that were narrow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wrote this down. Let me find it. Charlie
was there
Chaplin.
Any evidence from his experiments with Jacob's ladder? Yes, there was. The police department took it all in as evidence.
Oh, evidence, like police evidence, or?
Oh yeah, when he was arrested, they took all the transformers.
Right. I know that.
And his design.
But I was wondering if Carl was asking, was there any like police evidence that they took, or do we have any evidence that proves to us that he did those experiments?
No, the only thing we have is just the designs that he submitted to Art Bell to show him how it was built.
Right. Okay, so that also brings up another thing to me, and maybe it's just my mentality, is if I created a time machine, do you think I would give anyone the design on how I did that? Of course, my mind is different than yours or, Carl's, Lilith, Nadine, but screw you. If I figured out time travel, nope, you ain't getting any of it. I'm keeping it all to myself or those that are in my circle.
I'm with you on that one, but just to play devil's advocate, if I did, the Art Bell show is the perfect place to show them, because even the government's going to go, whatever, it's Art Bell.
Which I see that, I see
but
that.
Now you've also proven ownership. So if anything happens, the government takes it, you can say, hey, that's my design.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody thinks differently in this world, but when it comes to certain things, I think most people tend to agree on certain things. And that's one that I just don't think many people would be so willing to give it up.
Well, I would not, but at the same time, if I invented a time machine, I would be unwilling to use it.
Not me.
Every one of these theories comes to mind. And I know, let's just assume we're going forward in time. Us going forward in time can screw somebody else's history up that we go to visit.
Yeah.
So we're back to all those theories again.
And maybe it's just me, but I would personally want to test those theories. Go, okay, well, here's this paradox. I'm going to see if I'm able to do it or not, or if this really happens. I would want to try it out, see if it happened, and also if it affected somebody else's timeline that I don't know or have a relationship. I don't care. Ain't me. I don't know them, so it didn't matter in the first place. Now, if it affected, family like you, yeah, that's a different scenario altogether.
Yeah, but using the butterfly effect, how do you know it doesn't affect family?
That's true.
So I don't know.
Well, hold on. That actually does bring up well, no, it doesn't. That kind of cancels it out. What about time slips where people just seem to stumble into different?
That was Sergey.
Yeah, exactly. That was Sergey. Where
there are a lot of stories like that.
Well, here I missed a very important thing on Sergey. So the way he ended up in 2006 is, so the camera that he had, it was a camera from 1953. He just had a love and fascination of photography, so he took it with him everywhere. And as he was standing in Kyiv, he looked up and he saw what looked like a bell-shaped object floating through the sky, so a UFO. And then that's what he took the picture of. And the second he took the picture, it was like everything blacked out and came right back, and he was standing there looking around, and that's when he noticed he was in 2006. When he explained that to the psychiatrist, they didn't believe him, and that's what led them to go develop the film, which was difficult for them to find it, someone to do it, because it was outdated. Even back then, 35 millimeter medium format was outdated. Mm-hmm. And that's what led them to want to develop it. And they pulled up the picture. The film was in pristine condition for being, 60 years old.
Which should have never happened had it just been there for 60 years.
Yeah, exactly. The camera was still looking brand new, running perfect condition. And they pulled up the picture and went, okay, what's this? And showed him. And he said, that's what I took the picture of. And that's when I ended up here.
Now, so Linux actually had this. And I'm glad that the Mandela effect was brought up, because two things for me. Number one, I am one of the guys that distinctly remember Nelson Mandela being killed in prison. Distinctly remember it. And number two, not a lot of people have heard this story, even in the Mandela chat groups. But my wife and I were driving around in 1993 or 94, and we had heard that Meatloaf passed away. I can tell you what road I was on when I heard that, the car I was driving, where we were going. It's not like I just dreamed this. And we both stared at each other like, Meatloaf died?
What year was this?
1993 or 94.
Yeah, he was
Meatloaf
still alive.
Didn't die until COVID.
Yeah, I was going to say that was like 2019, 18, 19, somewhere around there.
But it was on AFN radio in Germany. And it was the Country Western station that reported it. It was Country Western Hour. And in honor of Meatloaf, they played Bat Out of Hell during country music. And if she's still in the chat, please tell me that I'm not making this up and you remember that story. So we'll see if she types something here. But the other parts of the Mandela effect, like I to this day I can still remember Jiffy peanut butter, not Jif.
Mm-hmm.
And then that brings me to the multiverse, which we'll get into later. Did I slip to an alternate timeline at that point and come to this one? And a lot of people are asking that same question because things that have gone on the last 5, 10, 15 years make absolutely no sense. And not just politics, but everything. It just seems like it's out of sorts, out of whack.
Yeah.
But yes, I've looked for the story. I have searched, scoured the internet to see if anybody remembers Meatloaf dying in 93 or 94, maybe 95. I can't remember. But we were in a 1985, uh, 1985 Chevy Camaro in Germany on B38 heading towards the PX or the commissary, listening to country music because it was our country music phase at the time. And they reported, as we were passing Capertall, they reported that Meatloaf had passed away.
So, what led them to believe that Meatloaf had passed away? I mean, anything?
They just said he had passed away. They didn't have a cause of death. And the next day in the Stars and Stripes, it was reported there too. Every morning, we got the Stars and Stripes, and I was reading it at work. And it was in there. And then all of a sudden, we didn't even think much of it until Bat Out of Hell 2 was released. And my wife and I both looked at us and went, "Isn't he dead?" The AFN was Nadine. I'll bring that up. AFN was so worried about misreading or putting something out that wasn't true that when they issued apologies on any other stories that they were mistaken, it wasn't just we'd like to apologize for this story. It was 4 or 5 paragraphs of apologies. It started here and they've apologized and then it came to us and we researched it and we're apologizing. So they were very good at correcting their mistakes. And as far as misread, had it just been the radio show, I'd have said, yeah, maybe I misunderstood. But to be in the newspaper the next day.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that time frame, that time period, but I don't remember hearing anything about it.
Yeah, I can't remember when Bat Out of Hell 2 came out, but it was a few years down the road. And we're both like, he's alive? And Carl, I know I've got all 3 of the Art Bell interviews saved. I will find links that Art Bell had set up for him. And Nadine, I went and I have scoured Armed Forces Network, the Stars and Stripes. It does not exist anymore.
Yep.
But it is such a clear, vivid memory that both my wife and I shared.
Okay, you said Bat Out of Hell 2, right?
Yeah.
September 14th, 1993.
So it would have been 92 that we heard he passed away. So
yeah. I mean, I don't remember it. I mean, I know, stuff like that goes around quite often, I mean, if you look, I know 93 versus now is a completely different time frame, but You know, even look on Facebook, you can see all the hoaxes and bullshit that goes around constantly. Is your regular password?
And,
Yep.
and as far as this, yeah, but to be reported in the Stars and Stripes the next day, somebody would have said, no, he just passed out.
I'm not sure what the Stars and
Oh,
Stripes
my
is.
wife's corrected me. Late 80s is when we heard that he passed away.
Huh.
But it was in Germany on the way to the PX or the commissary, and we were rolling through Capertal. So that would have been a 1983 BMW 3 Series.
So what was the Stars and Stripes thing that you're talking about?
The Stars and Stripes was our newspaper.
Like in Germany?
No, it was a military newspaper
Oh,
outside of the U.S.
oh, okay.
And then the Armed Forces Radio Network was our TV and radio stations.
Interesting. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Stars and Stripes isn't military owned. That's why they were always so worried about making mistakes.
I find stuff like that interesting. I mean, I constantly, you know, scrolling on Facebook or Instagram and they say, oh, so-and-so passed away. And you're like, wait a minute, what? And so I start reading it, or they say something happened. You start to read it and the article's about something completely different.
Yeah. So I have gone on a few little private Mandela Effects Facebook pages, and I've searched and I've asked, and it seems like my wife and I are the only two on the planet that heard that he had passed away.
That's interesting. I'm going to try and see if I can find anything on that.
If you do, please let me know.
Yeah.
I drive myself crazy thinking about that. You know, if, like I said, if it were just the radio station, okay, I misheard it. He got wrong information. But the very next day to hit the Stars and Stripes.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think all of it makes for very interesting and fun stories. I mean, I try to look at. Oh,
this is one
talking about the way it's spelled.
Yep, I remember the way it was spelled, not the way it's currently spelled.
Ronald Dell knew about it, and so did Uncle Mike.
Different Uncle Mike, not you.
Yeah, I remember, because didn't they say it was the Bern, Bern Steen Bears, and then they said the other one was Berenstain Bears? Beren? Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up, because not too long ago I watched a short clip on it was a lady, like a mom, that she grabbed the book and she was talking about it. And all I remember is she's in the child's room and she's looking at it spelled one way, and then she goes through the door and it's spelled completely different way. And then she goes back into the room and it changes back to the way it was spelled. That the world ended in 20.
Oh, Linux. Thank you. Thank you. I forgot to bring up Project Looking Glass. This has kind of been debunked a little bit, but the guy still swears it's true and is not changing his story. Unfortunately, I don't have his name written down, but he was another person that worked at S4 with Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar's quote, I believe, is he's full of shit.
Dan Burrish?
I can't remember, but I'm sure I'll find it.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said that it's probably him.
Yeah, it's him.
He had befriended an alien in S4. And the alien was actually human from the future. And they were called the P-52s because they were from 5,200 or 52,000 years into the future. I can't remember now. And they came back because the P-47s were trying to end our world. And they are the ones that started the catastrophe in 2012. And the P-52s saved it, but it created two timelines where one destroyed and one kept us on this path. So one timeline has been completely destroyed, December 22nd, 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar. The other thing he has said is that there's another shift that's supposed to take place where we can either go to a world that's finally peaceful, we all get along, technology is our friend, it's not trying to kill us, or we can go to a point where the technology and the shift in our poles because of a solar storm destroys most of the planet. And this shift is supposed to take place in 2030.
Okay.
So it's two different aliens, it's two different humans from different times. One is trying to end humanity and one is trying to save humanity. And they're constantly fighting. And the next fight is supposed to be in 2030.
So when you're saying polar shift, is it like complete polar shifts, like they've said?
No, it was just a shift of 5 degrees, but it was a rapid shift of 5 degrees, which messed with the tectonic plates.
See, because I mean, I don't know everything behind it, but I mean, I've heard that we've had a complete polar shift at one point since the Earth has been around, but that we're on the verge of another complete polar shift. So north to south, south to north.
Yeah. But it's from everything I've read about it, it is so slow. It happens all the time. I mean, not all the time, not every year, but every couple 100,000 years, it does shift. And we are in the middle of it to where the current magnetic North Pole is somewhere in Greenland right now. That's verified. But it's so slow, it doesn't really affect us that bad. But this one is a 5 degree shift, basically overnight. And it's such a large, massive solar flare that it messes with the magnetic pull of the sun, plus the shift, screws up the tectonic plates, and there are earthquakes across the world, even in places that have never had it before.
Yeah, haven't heard of that, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
I had to look up polar shift because it was scaring me too. But everything I've read is like it happens. A couple 100,000 years, you'll never know it really. You know,
the only thing that
pretty soon your summer will be in December.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say was the weather changes. That's what I heard. You know, I mean, like it's winter for us now, Nadine. It's summer for you, if I'm correct. You know, because of where you're at. So it would swap. I mean, thinking about it, I mean, it would just made me think. You know, look at our weather right now.
Yeah,
it was in the 30s the other day, and now it's almost 50 degrees right now.
So I'm looking this up real quick. Let me get this picture pulled up real quick. Sorry, dead silence on a program. That's always good.
Yeah, I'm typing stuff too, trying to find things.
All right, so wrong one. Hold on. There we go. So there's the geographic North Pole and where the North Magnetic Pole used to be. And then down towards Greenland is where it currently is. So we have shifted quite a bit. But this This could be a 60, 70, 80,000 year shift.
Huh. Interesting.
And yeah, I have heard something is coming in 2027, and that kind of goes along with the guy we were talking about earlier that's in 2027 and there's nobody around. So I don't know. We'll see. I deep in my gut, I feel something coming. I don't know what it is. I do kind of think it's bad, but I feel something is coming.
I've had feelings like that too, but we might be on. I'm not gonna talk about it here and now, but I think we might be on a little bit different, bad, but different things.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, I think the time travel, we pretty much finished that up.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else to say?
One thing I was going to mention earlier, but I'm sure you'll get into it. Carl, thank you for. I know you're on still. Thank you for staying on. I know it's
Yes,
1 o'clock in the morning for you.
Carl, it was good to see you again, even if it was just in the chat.
Yeah. So thanks for being on. Everybody, thank you everybody for being on.
Oh, and unlike those other places that want you to subscribe and like before you even watch anything, we wait till the end. But please, hit that like and subscribe.
Even if you don't like it, still do it.
It's times like this. I wish there was a thumbs down just so I could actually see.
Yeah, I would appreciate it. I mean, even the people in the chat, if you think the episode was crap, say the episode was crap. Think something can be better, tell us what could be better.
Oh, and to my wife's Facebook message, no, I'm still good. I have tea. Thank you. And Nadine said she liked this days ago.
So Nadine, I think you were actually the very first one to like.
So I guess with that, I'm going to see if I can actually do the outro without screwing it up this time.
Well, before we do that, do you want to talk about the next week's episode?
Oh, what are we doing next week?
So, I think I was the one who put it on the list, but I don't know if I want to do it or not. We have crop circles on there. I got an idea. Let's do crop circles, but let's focus on 2 or 3 that they can't explain. We'll talk about this. Nadine's writing everything down. Okay, we'll do that because.
Yeah, I don't want to go through all the crop circles and say, well, these 300, you can clearly see where somebody walked in with wood and.
Yeah, see, I think the majority, like as in more than 99.99%, are just absolute rubbish.
Yeah. So
I think
we'll find the most unusual crop circles and pick maybe 4 of them. You do 2 and I do 2.
Okay, that works. Do you want to do that? Wait, because I know you said you wanted to focus on not doing so much. Do you want to do?
Well, I think crop circles we can combine. We can just talk about the crop circles for 5 minutes, and then combine the whole program into what are the strange and unusuals that can't be explained.
Okay.
That way, we're not, diving down the rabbit hole we just did tonight.
Yeah. Nadine, I don't know. I put it on there on the list because I thought it was, to be honest, funny. I've always thought that they are just masterpieces, art. I mean, a lot of them look way cool, but that's all it is what I think is just artwork. I don't think there's anything behind it, but I think it would be fun to do a couple that, or the more famous ones that people talk about.
So I
Do
definitely
the one
want
from the UK with
ones
the
that
alien.
they debunked.
Yeah, that's the one that has stuck out as the one in the UK Linux. So let me write that down. 1 second. Oh, god damn it.
That's definitely one, yeah.
Well, maybe I won't write it down because I can't find. Oh, here we go.
Hey, how about this, Mike?
I'm listening.
We pick two, one each,
Okay.
and each one of us talk about how it's real and try and debunk it at the same time. You know, talk about things that have been brought up that may have debunked it. So we'll do like both pro and con of the two biggest ones we can find. This one being one of them.
Okay, I'll do the UK one.
Okay, I'll find another one, and then we'll talk about. Yep, this is from an alien race, and then we will also try and say no, it's not. This is all bogus.
Yeah, that's. I won't get into it here, but yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. So
well, that's all I had.
Is crop circles. I promise people I am going to get better at keeping that Facebook page updated. The holidays and everything else just screwed me up this time. But by Sunday, the Facebook page will be updated. Tomorrow, I will have the links for everybody we've talked about, so you can go check them out and either believe it or laugh at me for believing it, whichever one you want to do. I'm good with it.
That sounds like a plan to me.
All right, Alien Mike, if you got nothing else, it was actually good to see you again, man.
Yeah, it was good to see you too. Well, thank you, Nadine. Yep, first show of 2026. Check out. Oh my God, I've almost forgot his name. Colin from Horrific Podcast.
Oh yeah, Colin.
Don't forget that.
You guys have helped Colin. He has now gone from 1,000 subscribers to he's coming close to 2,000.
Is it really that much already?
He is at 1,820 something.
Wow. So in just a couple of months, he went 800 subscribers.
Yeah. And you guys, I mean, you may or may not have helped out, but
thank you to those that did.
Yeah. Anything you guys can do to help Colin out, help us out. You know, we enjoy doing this. We don't have as big an audience as he does, but for the ones we got, we love coming out here for you guys and chatting with you guys and having a good time.
Yep. Also,
without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this.
Exactly. That's
all,
all I have.
Alien Mike, we will talk to you later. For everybody else, you guys, I hope you enjoyed your holidays. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay spooky.
Have a good night, everyone.